Good afternoon, and welcome to Raleigh Baptist Church's weekly update. I don't know what sort of week you've had. I've had quite a busy week writing essays and watching lectures online, but thankfully the lectures have now finished, so I've just got my essays to write. I'm looking forward to next week being half term, where I get to spend more time at home with my family. Second thoughts, maybe it's not quite the rest that half term used to be, but it's to be a good opportunity to relax and rest from the busy time of college. I'm sure you're all aware that some schools are preparing to go back after half term. We've had to decide whether Rosanna and Archie go back, so please pray for schools, for teachers, for students, for parents, and all the other staff associated, as it's such a big decision to make, and there's lots of things for them to think about. I'm sure you can appreciate. Also, please continue to pray for those in our fellowship who unfortunately have had appointments or hospital operations cancelled. I know what sort of anxious time it is waiting for these operations, and to have them cancelled must only add to that. Not going to give out names, obviously, but please pray that those operations are retimed and can be able to be successfully completed soon. Very interesting this week. It was pointed out to me that Thursday was Ascension Day. Not something we generally celebrate too much in Baptist circles, but it got me thinking about the significance and story of Jesus ascending into heaven. I was reading in the last few chapters of Luke and in the first chapter of Acts the story of Jesus' last words to his disciples before he ascended to be with his Father. And the word kept springing up in all those readings, which is the word witness or witnesses. And got me thinking, what does it mean to be a witness? Well, a witness is someone who sees and records things as they happen. And it was quite a big responsibility on the disciples, if you think about it. Up till then, there had been no written accounts of Jesus, and thankfully they decided to write a few so that we can learn about what Jesus did and what he said. For me, I would have probably wanted to get on and start writing the stories of Jesus, the words he said. But Jesus did an interesting thing. He told them that they were going to be his witnesses and they were to go to the ends of the earth proclaiming his name. But they first had to do something. They had to go back to Jerusalem and wait. Now this obviously links in to the theme of the sermon from last Sunday morning about waiting on God's promises. And I must have wondered what it must have been like for the disciples to be really excited about what they were witnessing. Jesus rising from the dead, seeing them, giving them advice, telling them to go and tell people about him. But wait. And we're thinking, why would Jesus want them to wait? We want them to wait for his Spirit to come and become part of their mission. Why did he ask them to wait? Well, there's three quick reasons I want us to think about in terms of the ascension. The first thing is that it was a promise. Jesus promised his Spirit would come to be a helper and a guide for them in their mission and for us in our mission. And like we learned last Sunday, when God makes a promise, it really happens. But sometimes we have to wait for it to happen. So Jesus wanted his disciples to wait. Why else would he want them to wait? Well, a bit of anticipation, because he knew that when his Spirit arrived, it would be worth the wait. It would be worth it because it would be such an amazing event and it would empower the disciples to do exactly what God wanted them to do, to give them guidance and wisdom and strength and power. And the third reason is because it was essential. We're not doing this for ourselves and on our own strength. The disciples want to witness on their own strength and for themselves. It was for God. And the only way they could do that was with God being with them. Because Jesus had ascended to heaven to be at his Father's right hand, in order for him to be with us, he had to send his Spirit. It's a promise that was worth it and essential. So what can we learn in these times? Well, I think it's quite obvious that we're called to be his witnesses in whatever situation we find ourselves in, but we're not able to do that without the Holy Spirit. So my prayer is that you spend time daily with God, asking for his Spirit to help you have the power, the strength, and the authority to witness to people whom you encounter in whatever way. One last thing. Sometimes people ask me why Jesus ascended on a cloud. As quite simply, he was being dramatic. Not for dramatic's sake, but simply because over the last few weeks he had appeared and disappeared to his disciples in various locations and in various circumstances. And Jesus just wanted to make sure that his disciples understood that this was it. This was the final goodbye for Jesus in that form, and that one day, the next time they saw him, he'd be returning as king. And that is a day we look forward to. But until that time, we have his Spirit to guide us and be with us. We've got a few notices to share. There's a marriage course that is going on online at the moment. It's not hosted by us, it's hosted by Care for the Family. And if you're interested, there's some details on screen. But if you look in the bulletin, that'll give you a link which will enable you to log on. It has already started. You've missed week 1, but I'm sure it'll be a blessing for weeks 2, 3, and 4 as well. There's also a helpline set up by the Church of England. Details are on screen. If you are interested or need help with that, then please look at the bulletin as well for more details. I've mentioned this bulletin quite a lot. I hope that you've been emailed a copy of it. If you have not received the bulletin, please get in touch with reception@rayleighbaptist.org.uk or phone the office. Again, those details are on the screen. Bank holiday Monday, and the office will not be open. So please, if there's something you need to get in touch with one of the ministers, use the emergency number which is below as well, and that is also can be found on the bulletin. So we look forward to welcoming you on Sunday morning for online service, 10:30. Details are on the church website. We look forward to reading and learning about the next step in Abraham's faith journey from Genesis 17, if you want to have a read through that. And please keep in touch. Email us your pictures, videos, your prayers. If you want to video yourself praying for someone or for a situation, we'd love to hear that, see that, and we'll make it part of our services. God bless and have a good weekend.